When is the right time to introduce someone you are dating to your kids? I'm going to say this from my point of view and how I would play it. And the answer would be never, ever, 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 ever introduce anybody you're dating to your kids until you guys you've picked a date, even a dress, you're going to get married. I'm serious. I'm not even messing. Because there's some things, you know, the way I keep repeating myself on the show and saying there's some things that can't be undone and there's things that can't be unsaid. I don't think you should just introduce anybody to your children. You're single, yes, for whatever reason. It could be a tragic story. You're widowed. You parted ways for whatever reason. You had a baby, not in a relationship. It's all, by the way, good. But as long as you don't know that this person is going to be a permanent fixture in these children's lives forever and ever, I don't think it's safe to introduce him or her to them. At a passing clouds, oh, I like him so much. We've gone on 3 dates. He doesn't seem like he eats people. He's not a psycho. I can introduce him to my children. No. Let me tell you, God forbid I'm never something happens and I'm not with my man. I don't think who I'm dating is my child's business. I will not introduce my child to someone I'm dating. I'm sorry. Not that you're not important, but I really guard my child's mental space. The same way I think grown-up conversations should not include children. Like when I'm having a tiff with the dad, us guys try to steer clear of having her participate in whatever domestics we are going through. And we are very intentional about it. Very intentional about it. And I think I would carry the same rules even if we ever parted ways, and unfortunately one day, you know, God forbid, of course. Your children. There's people who you're dating, you can't have making them uncle who. I grew up with friends who had single parents. Oh, Uncle John, flavor of the month. Kidogo, your mom goes and finds someone else she likes better. Uncle Tom. Then kidogo, your mom is weighing her options, so she's dating 2 people simultaneously. So there's Uncle James and Uncle Mbaka. You take your pick. When you speak to those children, even now as adults, there's children who will tell you, I stopped investing at some point because my mom would just bring anything home. And that always plays at the back of my mind. That all chokorama peepers, those are street urchins. You cannot go and collect everybody just because you like them. Only introduce someone who you see a solid future with. For instance, he proposes to you. Then that's at the time you can have a conversation. Hey, you see these late night meetings, my boss is always calling me in the middle of the night. The weekend, sometimes I take and I go away from you. Mama, please sit down. I want to introduce you to someone. I have a friend. He'll never be your dad. At least not now. He isn't your dad. Your real dad will always be, your biological dad will always remain your biological dad. But this is my friend. I love him a lot. And I would want, not even just their say in it, but I would want you to be happy for me and to be comfortable with them around me. But this is something you have to tread very carefully. If you think your child is not, or your children are not ready to have another person in their lives, I always say, please go to the pros. Go for family therapy or counseling. Have someone who is trained and equipped to handle these cases. And especially if the other person also has children, so you're going to be a blended family, it's very good to be led by a pro. Like, don't ever feel bad to spend money where it's needed most. And I feel like a family therapist is very important. So unless Yani he has proposed, you bought a dress, he's going to pay in fact dowry next week, then your wedding is in 3 weeks. That's the only time you can introduce that person to your child. Otherwise, you could live to regret it. Why? Many times you confuse children. Yep. Many times our children are left confused. Kwanza, if you cast your net wide, we know you, Mama Nani. Unatafuta, you can't find your type, but you're bringing them for auditions in your house and your child is there.